Hello and welcome back to the WSMX programming training. In this lab recording, we are talking about lab number 4, task number 2, or in short, just task 4.2. And here it's about adding a new test suite to the distortion test flow. And we're adding this distortion AC underscore DS API test method, where we in the previous task added all those instrument setups, action setups, and an operating sequence using the device setup API. So, okay, we're gonna do this now here. Let me put that one aside and we jump into our um, smart test session. And before I start, actually, I wanted to say that in the previous task, we were setting up the operating sequence. And compared to that, I actually added here in this line 86 another sequential begin statement, and after the action call for the source waveform, another sequential end. So we have here the parallel group, and in this parallel group we have those two independent sequential groups which are actually executed in parallel, just to uh, let you know this for the sake of completeness. Okay, so now let's go to task 4.2, and it says that we have to add a test suite calling the distortion AC underscore DS API in the distortion flow. So we have here our distortion flow, we click into it. Here we have the standard suite calling um, the distortion AC, where we have also here the assignment of the specification and the operating sequence file. This is not what we want. We add a new test suite. For that we type suite. We gonna use the content assist again. We gonna call it distortion underscore DS API, and that calls the distortion AC underscore DS API here. Very good. And then, as in the lab manual stated here, we can then also provide all those, let's say, test suite variables, um, which we also used in the device setup coding. Okay, so we have the basically can just copy paste that one here down here. Um, why is it complaining here? And here we have the source signal, and that's basically this signal name here, but just for the source. So we have to change that one to 1. And then also we have the source action, and that is the stem wave sign. So now it is complaining for the action names. Maybe for that one we have a look. Here we had, yeah, that is what we used. Okay, this is probably why we already used them here. So what we could do is just is this now better? Okay, let's comment this out for a moment. I mean, since and here in the distortion we go basically back, and we have those names here back. And then we gotta later debug this. Anyway, so here we pass in also the the variables, and then of course here in the execute part um, of the test flow we also have to add now the newly set up distortion DS API test suite, and we're gonna execute it of course. Oops. And nope, so clumsy. Here we go, and we're gonna save it. And then the next point is execute the test program and compare the results of the test suite's distortion and distortion DS API. Okay, let's do this. So we have here our distortion test flow, and we can just click here on that one. Let's see, no binding error, nothing. That sounds very good. And we can now click here to the um, result pane, and you see we have the distortion and distortion underscore DS API. We can here filter it for site number 1. And if we go to test, whoops, we can basically do the same. Also use here maybe, no, that's already pretty fine. And you see here basically the test flow, and here the test suite name. So those are the parametric test descriptors here, which are used in um, the test method with the device setup API, and those were the ones we used before. Basically, this is also part of it. And yeah, you can see that we are using the same. Oh, it seems like here we have a typo because here we have a minus. Um, just wondering why here for the low limit we do not have a minus sign, and here we have it. So somewhere there must be a typo. It's probably that one here. Yes, okay. So now that would be consistent if we run this again. Tire test flow, we go to the results, and then pretty much it's all the same. Values are slightly different. That probably might be because we have in the offline result emulation different values for those two. Okay, so anyway, the main purpose of this lab was to use the device setup API to set up the waveform, the instruments, and all the actions, and also the operating sequence. I mean, we can also go here to this folder here where the device setup API generated files are located. And if you click into that one here, for example, in the operating sequence, then you see that the name of the test suite generating this file is this one here. And this is our operating sequence file generated by the device setup API. And we could basically compare this with the operating sequence file, which we wrote ourselves. And you see that um, I mean, here we have just a general statement where this comes from, and then we have the parallel group. We set the sync accuracy. Oh, it seems like I made a mistake here. And then we have two sequentials with the stim wave sign action call and with the mesh wave sign action call. Okay, that would it be for lab number 4. And yeah, for lab number 5, I will do a separate video, and hear you later. Thanks for listening. Bye.